Hey guys, welcome back to another pick a card. It's been a while since we've done one of these for you guys. But we are coming back with what magic is happening for you the next 4 months. So it's going to be September, October, November, December. So this is a TXT themed reading and we're super excited about it. But basically they have a song out on their new album called Magic. And then of course, most of their themes are pretty magic, you know. So so we decided that this would be a good thing to kind of promote them a little bit, but also because they're amazing and you should listen to them. But we have 4 different piles, so it doesn't matter which pile you pick, it's whichever one you're drawn to the most. So, you know, obviously you can go based off of, I'll pick them up in a second to show you guys, but you can go based off of which one piques your interest, whether that be you're interested in TXT and you have a bias that you want to pick, or you are interested in a specific season or month to see, you know, maybe you have a birthday coming up or something like that. I know both of us do. So you can pick whichever one you want. And then of course, we only did 4 piles, but there's 5 members in TXT. So if you'll notice over here, we have Mom You. But we have, and I'll pick them up and show you. So for pile 1, we have Taehyun. So he has Get Lost in Adventures and Teaching is My Jam. And this is the September months. So if your birthday's in September and you're drawn to that pile, go for it. If your birthday's in September and you're not drawn to that pile, that's okay too. We have Soobin, pile number 2, which is Hello Pumpkin, and it's Halloween. So obviously that's for October. We have Yeonjun for pile 3. Go. And then he has early sunsets and comfy sweaters. And then he also has a little pumpkin and harvest wishes. So he's fall. So November is that month. And then last but not least, we have the maknae. We have HeuningKai. We have the deer, and then eat, drink, and be merry. So he has Christmas or December, the holidays, whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate, that's okay. Doesn't matter. We accept everybody here. So basically, you pick one of your piles, whichever one you're drawn to, whether that be for the person or for the holiday or the month or the season or whatever you like. And then we'll have tarot, we have oracle cards, and then we actually have some special cards that we made to kind of see what magical things are coming your way, and then some lyrics from some songs by TXT. So, oh, and we also have Astro Dice. I almost forgot the Astro Dice. So we have a lot.
Yeah, we have a lot going. And sorry, just really quick to clarify, if you pick like the, you know, like the first one, which is September, just know it does cover all 4 months. Like it's not just going to be September, but if you're drawn to all 4 piles, then please go ahead and watch them. But don't think that it's like one for each month, just to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, that'd be kind of intense, but
Yeah.
You know, whichever one you're drawn to, it'll cover for the next 4 months, regardless of if you watch 1, 2, 3, 4, all of them, whatever you want to watch. So, you know, if you like more than one, Lena's right, just pick more than one. It's okay. But yeah, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll get started. So we are going to start with Taehyun's pile with the Teaching is My Jam. So if you pick that pile, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. If you picked pile 1, then you picked Taehyun. And he has the Teaching is My Jam and the Get Lost in Adventures little book set. So this is, well, technically month of September, but it's covering all 4 months. So this is going to be what magic is happening for you the next 4 months. So that's September, October, November, December. Or I guess whenever you watch this, it's kind of timeless. So regardless of what time of the year it is, but at the time we made this, that's for September, October, November, December. We have tarot, we have some oracle cards, and then we actually have our own homemade cards as well. So we have cards kind of showing maybe some blessings, some magic that's happening. And then we also have some songs that we'll shuffle out a song for you guys from TXT with some lyrics. And then we also have our Astro Dice as well. So we have quite a bit. And then Lena's doing channeled messages too. So we are going to be going in depth for the next few months. So what we'll do is we'll get started with tarot. And this is just kind of going to give us an idea of what to expect as far as like what maybe some magical things that are going to happen for you guys. And of course, if you were drawn to more than just this pile, that is perfectly okay. That's totally fine. Okay, so we have the Tower. Nobody panic yet. Tower is actually a good card. The Tower is one of my life cards, I believe. Chariot and the Tower. Yeah, so you know, it's not bad. It just means big change, which is actually pretty exciting, if you ask me. You have the Queen of Swords. Okay. Okay, Six of Swords. Not bad, not bad. Moving on from some things into better, calmer waters. Okay. The Devil, which again, nobody panic. Get into what that means in a second. It's something different when you're looking at blessings than what you would usually think it is. Oh, and then you have the King of Swords too. Okay. And then just to show you guys, yeah, the bottom of the deck is the Six of Wands.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is actually super good. So don't panic. But basically, from your tarot, what I'm picking up is that you're going to have a lot of changes the next few months. For some of you, if you chose this pile because let's say you have a birthday in September, then this just means that, you know, with your solar return usually comes changes to what's going on in your life, because every year you're a year older and that shifts kind of where you're going, what direction, what things to focus on. That's one part of it. Now, if of course you're not born in September, then this just means that there's some big changes coming. And I don't think they're bad at all. Like, I think they're actually pretty good. I think basically what's happening is you are finding a lot of clarity, coming to a lot of understanding, and you're going to be leaving a lot of things behind that maybe made you feel like held back. If you struggle with things like addictions, or if you have things or thought patterns or beliefs or anything that's kind of been holding you down or making you feel kind of anxious or, you know, kind of stressed out lately, I feel like for you guys, because you have the Six of Swords and the Devil right next to each other, that tells me that you're going to be letting those go and moving on from those things into calmer waters. So over the next 4 months, you might find that you go through this phase of kind of like metamorphosis in a way, where you're coming to an understanding of a lot of things, and maybe things are coming up that you didn't know were there, or that you're finally seeing the reasons why certain things are the way that they are, so that you can let go of a lot of the stuff that kind of makes you just feel down or heavy, or, you know, not as good as you would like. And that's going to bring you to this King of Sword energy of being like completely aware of what's going on, having a lot of clarity, a lot of knowledge, a lot of understanding. Some of you might be learning some new stuff. I know obviously September is the school month, right? Like that's when everybody, well, August too, but for this reading, when everybody goes back to school in August and September, you know, you learn a lot of new things. A lot of people move, a lot of people go off to college, a lot of people are, you know, starting new classes, meeting new people. And I think that kind of helps facilitate this as well. So for some of you, you might even meet some people that help you kind of come to a new level of understanding or figure things out about yourself as well. And I think you're going to be sitting in this really comfortable spot where you feel very confident and knowledgeable and wise, and just kind of like you have all of this clarity and all of these good things that are going on, and you're finally kind of like that freedom feeling of like being able to kind of spread your wings a little bit and get out of some of that like stuff that made you feel really like low and like on the ground. It's kind of what I'm getting from it.
I agree with that all 100%. I just wanted to say a couple of the channel messages that I was getting so far. One of the things that when Becca was talking, she was talking about like changes, and I heard from your guides like the phrase like on the precipice of something new. So like she said, you guys might experience a lot of shifts right now, and just to kind of roll with the punches is kind of what I'm saying. So it's kind of like something might seem bad, but then it's going to turn out to be for the better, which is kind of sometimes what a tower moment is. Even when a tower moment is quote unquote bad, usually that thing that we were attached to or whatever that fell away, like it is for our higher purpose, even if it doesn't feel like it. So for example, say that you recently, lost your job, right? Because I feel like most of you coming into September, you've probably already experienced this tower moment, or like you're going to very soon. But like, again, like Becca said, don't panic. But you're going to realize after it's over that it was for the best. That like, you're going to be like, like I see I had to go through this little bit of like a rough patch so that I could come into my best self. Like, so that I could leave that job that was no longer serving me, so I could take that trip that made me realize that what I'm doing with my life I don't want to do anymore, like, and I want to do this instead. I had to leave that relationship to see that I deserved better. I had to cut off my old friends to realize that I was welcoming in new ones, like those types of things. And then they said, which goes along with what I was just talking about, another phrasing that they said, that there's truth in the shadows and to embrace them. So whatever, you might be revealing some truths, and that makes tons of sense here because they're all swords, right? Like except for the devil and then the tower.
Yes. Yep. So there's 2 major arcana and then the rest are swords.
Yes. And like I wasn't like, I mean, I'm paying attention, but I'm mostly channeling right now. So I wasn't really paying attention to that you got swords cards until right now when I looked. And so like what I'm like, so it makes a lot of sense to me that this message about truth came in, because with the swords that tends to be a lot of truth. So these next few months might reveal a lot of truth to you. And I think there's a connotation of truth where people always think that truth means that someone was lying to you. That's not always the case. What I get from this more than anything, it's like you're moving away from things that no longer serve you, and the truth that is coming into your life might even be spirit's plans being revealed to you, meaning that you're going to step into your true power, meaning that you're going to step into the knowledge that you needed to know, like Becca was talking about, you learning and growing. You might, again, have that revealed. Some of your fears might come to light where you see that, oh, wow, that thing I was afraid of actually isn't that scary. That's kind of what I'm feeling.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I forgot to say that astrologically, if you were wanting some confirmation, like astrology signs, the devil is Capricorn energy. Swords is air, so that's going to be Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. And then the tower, I always forget what the tower is.
I don't know if the tower has an astrological association. I don't remember.
I don't remember if it does.
If it does, we'll remember and remind you next time. I'm sure you can also look it up. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head. But if you're looking for that, there you go. So we'll look at some oracle cards. We'll see if they can tell us a little bit more about what is coming, kind of what magic to expect. And I've been kind of shuffling these out already so that you don't have to wait. So we had magnificence, had a hard time with that. And you also got patience, which I know everybody's like, oh my gosh. But hold on. You have Yod, destiny.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And then actually we were only going to be doing one of these cards, but they sent out 2, so I took them. We have Aquarius and then sextile. So if you're an Aquarius, hello. I'm just gonna do one of those. And sextile is an opportunity. It's usually a really easy flowing energy in the chart. We have the Father, number 2. And then we also have the Dead End. But again, I don't think that's a bad thing, and I'll explain that in a second. And then I'm actually just shuffling out your crystal cards right now. See what we get here. Here we go. Okay, so you got Auralite 23, which is clarity, focus, and higher awareness. This is Aquarius and Pisces and Neptune. And then you also got Rainbow Mayanite, looks like that, which is chakra alignment, foundation, and karma. And that's Leo, Virgo, and Libra. So Sun and Pluto. That one. So looking at these, what I can say for you guys is that basically what I'm picking up on is a lot of your gifts the next few months, you might have some opportunities that are popping up that are going to lead you to a lot of new things. So I feel like, you know, there's a lot of talk on your crystal cards about like higher awareness, clarity, chakra alignment. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you were spiritually inclined in this group, which is interesting because if you are an Aquarius, sometimes Aquarius is not as spiritually inclined because Aquarius is known for kind of needing to know like the facts and the science and things like that. So if you are an Aquarius, I think one thing that might be happening for you is you might be experiencing a lot of synchronicities and a lot of messages and a lot of spiritual things happening that maybe you're not so used to, and you might be kind of coming into a new understanding or a new level to those. With the Dead End card, the reason why I say don't worry about that is because I think this is where you're coming from. So I feel like you might have come to this place where this tower was, where things were kind of at a dead end, basically like a point where you couldn't go any further and you weren't really sure what to do. And basically, I think the tower kind of came in and shook everything up and was like, no, you can't go any further here. We're, you know, Spirit was like, we're going to move you in a different direction now because it's time for change. It's time to flow over here. So one thing that they really want you to do is make sure that you are allowing that flow, because you've been building up a new foundation for yourself the past few months. And I feel like doing so has kind of given you this foundation that you can rely on. And now they're going to start bringing in more for you so that you're able to kind of start building upon that foundation with like things that are really, really healthy and good for you. Now, magnificence is like a wonderful thing to get when you're asking about magic, isn't it? So basically, you know, with magnificence, and it's right next to like the Yod Destiny card, which I don't know if you know what the Yod Destiny card, but it's basically called the Finger of God, right? So I'll hold this up so you guys can see kind of what it looks like. So anybody that's into astrology can see here they have like a little wheel and you can see how it's pointing. So usually what that means is you have a sextile here, and then you have, which is funny because you got sextile, and then you have trying to remember if these were trines or if they were, can't remember for sure. But basically it's made up of 3 points. These two are the same distance from each other, and then each one is the same distance from this one over here from these planets. And basically what that means is it points to a planet where basically you have a super ease of flow, and that planet actually brings you a lot of blessings and a lot of fortune and a lot of good things. So for you guys, I think, you know, looking at the house that Aquarius is in would be really, really important. And taking note of any sextiles. So if you are into astrology, you can look into that. But basically, it just says that you're blessed. Basically, if you have the Yod in your chart, it's known to be kind of like a blessing placement. And basically, what I'm getting from that is that you're going to have one area of your life where you're going to have a lot of opportunities coming in, and it's going to allow a lot of blessings to flow in that you've been manifesting and hoping for and wanting and wishing for. It's kind of funny because they're being kind of secretive about what they are. Like they're really not telling us much about what exactly the blessings are, but they're basically saying like you're going to be in awe, basically. Like you are attracting things to you that you really, really want and desire and that you need. And it has taken a lot of patience, and they want you, of course, to continue to be patient, but mostly with yourself and with knowing that things are working out exactly like they're supposed to, even if it is a little stressful or it feels like you're at a dead end, like you're doing exactly what you need to do. As long as you go with the flow, things will move very fluidly. So like things will move a lot easier if you're not fighting yourself over it, which is hard. I mean, like I'm kind of a hypocrite for saying that because I fight myself all the time. I try not to, but I do. And basically with the father card, because that's the only one I haven't touched on yet, is what I'm getting from this, because this has like a really strong tree in the center. Like for me, this is talking about that foundation, right? So I feel like you've been really learning how to reparent yourself and to really give yourself that strong foundation. With this, it has like a little penny over here. So one thing I think for you guys, some of you have been manifesting abundance in financial matters. And I feel like that's something that is coming. So if you've been manifesting like a way to, you know, make more money, or maybe you've been working on a side project and you're really ready for that to take off, or maybe, you know, you've been trying to manifest a new opportunity for yourself, that you can have a job that you really, really love and are excited about, that also makes you really good money. Like I'm kind of getting like all of those vibes. Like you've built up a foundation, and now, you know, spirit is saying like, okay, you're manifesting this and we're going to give this to you because you know, obviously you deserve it, but you've been working very hard for it. And all this time that you've spent on this foundation hasn't been wasted. You've been building up this foundation so that you can get this blessing. And now all you have to do is be ready to receive and go with the flow.
Yes. I agree with all of those things wholeheartedly. First thing I want to say right away is that the message about grounding in nature is coming in really strong for you guys. I kind of got the sense of hearing from spirit, like ground in nature, because they said like nature blooms around you. So I think it's very much like nature responds really well to your energy, and you respond really well to nature's energy. Even if you're someone who's constantly like, oh no, like I'm a city person, regardless, nature likes you and you like nature. So you need to spend more time in it. That could just be getting a house plant. That could be going for more walks. Like we don't realize how weighed down by technology we can be, and especially if you're an Aquarius, they can tend to be a little bit like, you know, they're innovative, right? Like they're the sign of using those innovations quite a lot, if I remember correctly. And so like that's kind of what I'm picking up on, is like, especially if you do have some like strong Aquarius in your chart, you might need to get outside a little more. You might spend too much time inside, and I think that's why they're trying to push you outside. And that could just be, and that might help clear up your head too. Like if you're constantly feeling like that confused, foggy feeling that we were talking about, like came out of a tower moment, might help you clear your head to spend a little more time in nature. So even if it's just going to like a local park and just sitting outside and breathing some fresh air for like 10-20 minutes, you know, once or twice a week, it doesn't have to be every day. It's great if you can every day, but not everyone can. So even if you're like, all right, well, it's Saturday and I'm not working today, so I'm going to head to the park and spend 20 minutes outside, you might start to notice that you feel so much better. That's definitely something that they're really, really, really pushing. There was that, and something about skin contact. So I don't know if you're someone who likes like skin to skin contact, but I'm really focused in on that hand that's right there in the middle of the dead end. And I almost feel like maybe it's almost like a sense of loneliness, and like you're reaching out for another hand to touch yours. And then I'm watching the like two trees, the duality of the trees, and it's like they're coming together. So it's like the dual parts of you are coming together, like in your father energy. So you're probably honing in on your masculine energy quite a bit, and learning to balance the shadow side of it with the light, because every side of us, which is, or we have two sides of us already, right? But I feel personally, and I think Beck agrees with me on this, that even your dual energies have dual sides to them. So it's like goes on for infinity in that sense. But I feel like you're learning to really balance that and kind of coming into your own power, like Becca was talking about. And I'm getting this sense too of like a lot of anxiety in the chest. And so you could be going through a lot of big changes that are making you feel a little more anxious, a little more panicked, a little more like, I'm not sure where I'm going. And basically what I get from that is to stay on like your path and just trust, because you are aligning to your destiny. Even if it feels right now things might be falling apart, they're falling apart to make way for better things, which I know is such a cliche, but we've seen it a lot of times in our own lives, and it is really true. And like I said, I kind of tangent a little bit, but they're bringing me back to that hand, and they're talking about, again, like that skin to skin, and they're saying like not to worry because you're not going to be lonely for long or forever. It's like you're changing up your energy and you're pulling in like that contact that's going to be met. And it's like your hand has been reaching out for so long, like waiting for like your soul family, for like that connection that you've been wanting. And I see like the two hands meeting and then like their fingers clasping together. So I feel like it's just like I'm getting that message of like, hold on, like that's very much coming through.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So let's go ahead and see if they'll give us any information on what is coming in the next 4 months. And then we'll get you a TXT song, and then we'll roll the Astro dice too to see if they'll give you any more information. So let's go ahead and get a couple of these cards that tell us kind of maybe some stuff that could be coming in next few months. Let's see if they'll pop one out. I feel like I need to say that the reason why they're not giving us very much on what's coming in the next few months is because, well, one, you might be somebody that can be quite skeptical and they don't want you to like sit there and be like, oh, you're right, you know, but also because you're so close to some of this stuff coming in that they want you to have a surprise. It's kind of which let's see if they'll give me anything. If not, I'm just going to take couple. They're thinking about it. Okay, heart and throat opening. So those are some chakras that might be opening right now. I feel like that might be part of that feeling in your chest that you get with like the anxiety and stuff like that. Sometimes when we're releasing things in the heart chakra, you can get kind of that like anxious feeling in your chest. Yeah, there's two more. Okay, lower chakra power up. So again, you've been building that foundation. So definitely with your root chakra for sure. But also that means your sacral and your solar plexus as well. And then you also got soul family incoming.
Hey, I mentioned that.
Yes, you did. And then at the bottom is confidence and owning your power. So, you know, again, they're not really telling you too much, but, you know, you might meet some new people. And then, of course, you know, you might be doing enough healing or have done enough healing now that you're starting to feel the effects of your chakras being cleared out. For some of you, you might even come into Kundalini. And the reason why I say that is because they talk about chakra alignment on this card. And they also talk about like clarity, focus, and higher awareness on this card. And Aura Light 23 is actually a really good crystal to meditate with if you're trying to connect to spirit, but also for chakra alignment as well. So I find that very, very interesting because it seems that you guys have been doing a really good job with that. You got 9 3/4, which is the debut song of TXT. And it says, Bibbidi Bobbidi, the train is departing. Bibbidi Bobbidi, our magic island. When we go past this tunnel, when we open our eyes, our dreams become reality. Please be my eternity. Please call my name. Run away with me.
Cute.
Yes. So if you haven't heard that song, highly recommend it. It is actually, we have been here since debut for them. And that was the first song I've ever heard of TXT's. And I love that song with my whole heart. Okay, cute. And then we'll roll your Astro dice too, and see what we can get. Okay, third house. We have, oh my gosh, is that Pluto or Uranus? That's Pluto, isn't it?
I think so.
It's been a minute. I think that's Pluto. Let me check. Yeah, okay, good. Yep, that's Pluto. So third house Pluto, and then Gemini, which Gemini naturally rules over the third house. So the third house is all about communication. It can also be about social life. So kind of like your online presence, social media. Um, it can also be, so Gemini is Mercury. So it can be about like knowledge. And again, we did talk about that a lot, actually. We talked about a lot of knowledge stuff. So again, with your tarot, I was talking about how you might be coming into new knowledge or you might be learning a lot. You also have stuff about like learning spiritually as well. And then we also talked about opportunity with that. And then of course, as Aquarius loves to learn as well. So I think that's very interesting. But if you have Pluto in your third house, usually that means you're going through a lot of transformation in that part of your life. So that's going to mean that your social circles might be changing. The way you communicate with people and yourself might be changing. Social media stuff might be changing, because basically Pluto is all about change and transformation. It's about death and rebirth. It's also about things like sex, sensuality, other people's money is one thing that it's about. But for me, what I'm really picking up on this is all about like transformation in your communication style, your social life, learning. Like I said, a lot of you might be going to college, you might be going to a new school, or you might just be changing up your social circle. So like we said, if you have soul family coming in, well, that's a change up to your social circle. So congratulations if that's the case. But I see a lot of really good connections and a lot of really good changes. It's not a lot of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be going through death and destruction for the rest of forever. And it's like, well, I mean, change is constant, right? So we always will be going through change. But it's in this sense, I'm getting very positive change where you'll have a lot more people that you can consider, close, even if it's just like one or two people right now that come in. Like they're people that you can trust and that you can communicate with and you can talk about all of this stuff with, because I kind of get the vibe that you might not have a lot of people around you that you can talk to about spirituality or about astrology or about, chakras or alignment or tarot or any of that stuff. And I feel like you might be diving into that a little bit more. And with that knowledge, I feel like you're also somebody who probably is going to want to communicate about that with someone. So basically, Spirit is saying, like, we're going to give you those people that have your back, that are a support system in the areas that you feel like you don't have anybody right now. Because Lena was talking about that lonely feeling. Like, I feel like you're going to be meeting people that kind of fill in the spots where you feel like you might be missing people, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So before we wrap, I have the little bit of the channel messages that I was writing down, and I should have said it before, and I'm kind of sad that I didn't, but the father card, the Roman numerals were reminding me of Gemini, and I should have mentioned it, because Gemini is about the duality as well, and that card clearly speaks about a duality with the colors and stuff, and then you got Gemini. So again, you might be shifting through a lot of duality, like that specific word and term seems very important for you in this pile. Change, the two sides of yourself, like the two sides of the same coin. Again, with soul family incoming, you might meet someone like the best friend you've ever had coming into your life. And then for those of you that are looking for love, it could be a romantic partner, but I very strongly feel like it's going to be a romantic partner that starts off as a friend, because I don't see like a ton of like heavy like passion romantic energy here. That doesn't mean that this person won't be your life partner, because I feel like if they're your best of best friend and there's a romantic attraction, they probably would be. But I think that very much so, like, you're going to just click with that person. That's very much what I get from that energy. So with that being said, channel messages that I got the music scale, but specifically playing the piano, so that could resonate for some of you. You guys got a lot of animals in this pile. So octopus, deer, the letter S, a fishtail. The root and third eye were like the big chakra colors that they were showing me. So I thought that was funny that we got that like power up message about your lower chakras, because I felt that for sure. And then you did get a minor with the solar plexus and the heart. So that also is, I think those are going to be main focus. I got a smiley face, high heels, On the precipice of something new, which I already mentioned. There is truth in the shadows, embrace them. Bats, birds, specifically a blue bird. Bows, and then some of these, this one's a little bit, I don't know what it means. It might mean something to some of you. They said, solve the riddle to find your future. Jellyfish, bicycles, purple licorice, turkey. So that could be like that November Thanksgiving time could be a specific highlight for you. I also from Turkey hear turnkey. So if any of you have been looking to buy a house, you might be finding one that's turnkey that's perfect for you. And like that could be some of those changes that are coming in. You might be moving. And then we have grace is important. That came out very specifically. So I just wanted to, that could be like grace, like having grace, or maybe you know someone named Grace, or maybe your name is Grace and you needed to be reminded that you're important. And then we have trust the wind. That was the last message. So that's what I got for you guys.
Yeah, and hopefully, you know, that makes sense and that made you feel a little excited. I feel like with this group, you already are a very grounded feeling, like a very like practical feeling. So I feel like this might be something, you know, if you pick this group, it's probably what you needed to hear, and hopefully it is, but you should let us know in the comments what you thought about it.
Yes,
we would love that. We love your comments and we are excited to be back. So, you know, let us know what you thought. And of course, you can always find us on social media. We have literally one of everything. So if you want to find us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, our Tumblr is actually pretty poppin', but I use it mostly just for astrology. But if you're really into astrology, come hang out with me on there because I'm on there all the time. You know, we have a little bit of everything. So check us out there if you would like. Mm-hmm. But that is what we had for you guys. So if you wanted to, you can pick one of the other piles if you were drawn to any of the other ones. But otherwise, we hope to see you in our next reading.
Mm-hmm. Bye, guys. And don't forget to listen to your TXT song.
If you picked pile number 2 or card number 2, I should say, then you picked Soobin. So he has the lucky Halloween month, so October. You don't have to have like a birthday in October, and this is for all 4 months. So this is going to be for September, October, November, December. But if you were drawn to this, this is your pile, regardless of when your birthday is or if the month resonates or if you just really like Soobin, which is good. We like Soobin. Mm-hmm. So, you know, but this is going to be what magic is happening for you the next 4 months. We have tarot, we have oracle, and then we also have like we have a little handmade deck with some gifts that are coming in the next few months. And then we also have TXT songs. So we'll shuffle you one of those and get you some lyrics. And then we have Astro Dice as well to kind of give us more ideas of where you can expect maybe some gifts or some magic to happen in your chart. But oh, and Lane is doing channel messages too. I think I mentioned that in the intro, but I'm mentioning it in every pile again. But we will get started with your tarot and we will see maybe where that magic is coming in or how it's coming in. Oh yes. Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay. First 2 cards. You have the 6 of Wands. You also have the Sun. So already hot and fresh out the oven. What's going on here? Hold on. Okay. All right. So 5 of Cups. We'll get to that in a second. More. We got the Page of Cups. Okay. And last one. And the High Priestess. That's the last card. And then the bottom of the deck. Yeah. Oh, yes. 4 of Wands. So right away for this group, super exciting. I'm actually really excited. I kind of feel very grounded right now. I feel like a lot of you are actually currently coming out of a 5 of Cups situation, which the 5 of Cups is all about like kind of like a sadness or a depression or feeling kind of like all is lost, like you spilt the milk kind of a vibe. And I feel like a lot of you are either in that right now or you're coming out of it. and you've been doing a lot of like soul searching, right? So I feel like a lot of you have been doing searching through like your emotions and kind of sifting through everything that's going on in there, and kind of trying to heal things and to move through things and to kind of become more aware of your emotions and become more comforting and loving and nurturing towards yourself. You also have the Six of Wands and the Sun, which are like two beautiful cards to get when we talk about what magic is happening, because the Sun is all about happiness and the Six of Wands is all about celebration, victory, success, even potentially fame or being well known, being of some sort of importance in some way. So for some of you, you might be getting some recognition, whether that be at work or, you know, for anybody that's, you know, even if you do watch our channel and you are trying to be famous, or you're trying to like start a YouTube channel and get a lot of subscribers, or maybe you're, you know, just trying to do something to bring a lot of attention to yourself, I feel like you're going to get that. So whatever you're doing, you're going to be bringing that attention. You're going to have success in that, and you're going to have like a victory over that. And it's going to bring you a lot of happiness. Now, at the end over here, you have the High Priestess. So I feel like while you're going through all of this, it's all kind of going to be happening simultaneously. So I don't think it's going to be like oh, well, I got over the Five of Cups and now I'm all better and now I'm happy. Like, I feel like a lot of people have that misconception that once you heal something, like it means that it's gone forever. But, you know, throughout our lives, we continue to heal and grow and change and adapt to things. And I feel like for you guys, you might be kind of going through this still when some of this success hits you. And it's okay if you have those ups and downs. So it's okay if on some days you feel really, really, really happy. And on some days you're like, you know what, today I'm feeling kind of sad and I'm feeling kind of stressed and I'm kind of sitting through this. And it's like, that's okay. If you need to take rest, make sure you're taking rest. Do your self care. Make sure you're taking care of your feelings, your emotions, your body, your mind, everything. Make sure that you're still keeping track of that, even when the success comes in. Because if you start getting really, really busy, don't start slacking on taking care of yourself just because you're busy or because you feel like you don't have time. Like, you are still the most important thing, because, you know, all of this could be going on at the same time. And if you're in that energy of kind of pushing that away now instead of accepting it like you have been, it's going to create more tension internally. And that's not going to make you feel very happy. And it could cause anxiety and stress and just not things that we want. So I think that's just kind of a reminder to make sure that you keep being kind to yourself and nurturing yourself and loving yourself, even after you have successes and things that come in. And the more that you do that, the more that's going to come in too, which is super exciting. And then with the High Priestess, that's all about like this connection to spirit, to kind of this higher mindset. Um, most people, when they get the High Priestess in the cards that they pick, usually that indicates some sort of spiritual awareness or like heightening of spiritual powers. So for some of you, you might be experiencing like a new level of awakening. So what that means is you might be waking up to new gifts like psychically, or you might be, you know, using your clairs more often, or you might, you know, be starting something that has to do with spirituality in some way. But I feel like that's something that's very, very exciting. The High Priestess is a major arcana, as is the Sun. And then you have two cups and a wand. So I feel like for a lot of people in this group, you probably have fire and water placements pretty heavy in your chart. And then, of course, at the bottom of the deck, we had the Four of Wands, which is a fire card. For me, what I feel with this, because it's at the bottom of the deck, for some of you, if you've been manifesting like a long-term relationship, like a solid like marriage type relationship, I feel like this is saying it's coming. It might not come in the next 4 months. It might come in the next 4 months, but I feel like spirit wants to keep it a surprise. But I feel like if you have been manifesting that, it's on the horizon. Like, they want you to know that that's happening. Like, it's working. Your manifestation is heard, is basically what they're saying. And you will have success and you'll be able to celebrate that. But this also talks about, if you're not wanting that, this also talks about just celebrating and having a strong foundation in general. So while you've been going through all of this, I feel like you've been creating a pretty strong foundation, and maybe not only for just yourself, but for like a family or for loved ones or for your, you know, friend circle or whatever it may be. you've been building this strong foundation, and now, you're going to start seeing these successes, and you need to celebrate them. So celebrate the success, but also celebrate yourself and how far you've come. I feel like that's really important for this group.
Yes, I 100% agree with that wholeheartedly. Okay, so for you guys, I'm getting a lot of like, I keep wanting to work with my hands. So I have to sneeze. So sorry if I sneeze. But I'm getting a lot of like, yeah, wanting to work with my hands. So I'm feeling the need to kind of like I'm seeing like this clay kind of like in a hand, and it's being molded. And so this could be like, you could be some type of artist. So this could be an interpretation to keep working with that art, but this could also be about molding the life that you want, or that it's starting to take shape, because we did have that Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck. We have the Sun, we have the Six of Wands, which is that victory. And like, I think this comes after a lot of hardship and a lot of disappointment. This is coming from like your highest self, like you're stepping into like your biggest power right now. And I think that it's making a huge difference for you in life. And I'm sensing a little bit of like hesitancy and trusting it. And I think that's that Five of Cups energy, because I feel like it's like the like, well, it never worked out before, or like I would get a good thing and then it would get snatched away from me. And what I'm really hearing from Spirit is that, like, because the way I see it is like in the Five of Cups, right, in general, you see that there are two cups behind him that are up, and he's focused on the cups that are spilled over. But even with the Page of Cups, she's facing and offering another cup. And I feel like that's a guide or a friend. So like, there could be someone who offered you some opportunity, and it might seem a little bit weird or a little strange, and trust your gut, because you're going to know what feels right for you. And if you're like, you know what, I feel like I should say yes to this opportunity, I'm hearing yes, take it. That cup is for you. So if, for example, in the case of like the romantic relationship, your friend's like, hey, there's going to be a little get together with me and just a couple friends, but like, would you want to come over? Like, it's just going to be a nice hangout. Accept that invitation, because you might meet someone new there. And it could be romantic interest. It could be a new friend. It could be someone that helps you meet the person that you're supposed to meet down the line. Like, you just don't know. And it could just be a fun night that Spirit's trying to get you out of your head and out of that energy. I definitely feel like a big shift and change coming for this group. And it does feel super, super positive. But I feel like I said, like, it's like this seed of doubt that's like sitting in the pit of my stomach that I think Spirit wants you to work with. And they want you to be honest with them about that seed of doubt that you feel. Because you have all this beautiful positive energy around you. And then I feel like it's you right in the center, like almost talking yourself down and like thinking that you don't really deserve it. Or it could be about, kind of like Becca said, like that you really needed to hear some of these things. And it really could be like just that feeling of like, you don't feel like you deserve it. You don't think that Spirit's listening. If you pay attention to the Sun card, there's a little face in the sun, and I take that as kind of like Spirit. And I feel like you would do really well, like maybe with Becca kind of already mentioned fire, but maybe like some candle magic, like sitting and speaking intention into the flame and then watching the flame kind of dance and like recording your intuitive feelings about it. That could be good for you. Or like burning bowl ritual to like release doubts. You just write your doubts on the paper, and then you say like, to Spirit, as I burn these, I release these for me, like take them for me, like these doubts. And there's nothing wrong with doubt. We all have it. But I feel very much that this is self-doubt. And that's the thing that's killing you right now, is because I feel like you're constantly doubting yourself and your ability to do this. And I feel like there's so many people around you that have so much faith in you and like think that you can do these amazing things and that these amazing things are coming for you, but you don't believe it about yourself. And if we don't believe it about ourselves, it ends up being the thing that keeps us from trying. And I hear your guides saying like, please don't not try. That's something that they're pleading. They're like, please don't not try. They're like, even if you stumble, we're going to be there to help you get back up. Like, there's, for me in this spread, there's like assured success, assured victory, but self-doubt can be the thief of joy. Like, it just can. And I know, because I'm someone that experiences that self-doubt constantly. Becca and I both have a Chiron that is in, I mean, mine is in Cancer and hers is in Leo, but we both have them in the same house, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it so that we both doubt our own gifts quite a lot. And I feel like that's similar here. Like, I don't know if you have that placement, but regardless, this feels like a very, very, very deep wound of not feeling like you're good enough. And I just feel the need to tell you guys that you are enough. You are worth it. You can have anything and everything that you want. You have all this incredible energy around you, and you just have to believe it. You just kind of have to stand up to this doubt and do it anyway. Do it scared, basically.
Yes. Which is something that Lena says to me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Good times. Yes, I agree with all of that. I definitely think with this group, you know, a lot of comfort is coming for this group, and I feel like it's a lot of comfort that you really needed for a while. And I'll show you why I say that. I tried to shuffle these while Lena was talking, and they kept sending out 3 cards for the first ones, but we've only been taking 2, so don't tell the other groups. But you got Innocence, which is Daisy and Peacock. So at first I was like, well, Innocence, that's interesting, but Daisies are about happiness and the peacock is about showing the self off, right? So it's kind of about like being bold and confident and putting yourself out there and being bright, you know, and not minding that everybody can see your beautiful feathers, you know. So for me, that's why that one came out. You also got Courage, which is the mullion and the purple shot copper. And then you got a third one, which is Abundance, which is the chrysanthemum and the popinjay. And mums, for me, actually, mums are very popular in the fall. That's when you'll see a lot of them out. Like, people usually will buy and plant mums in the fall. So for me, that just tells me that that's another confirmation that in the next 4 months, you might be finding some new abundance, which is super exciting. You have Aries, I am. And then you also have the 4th house of Roots, which is also the house of Cancer, which again, I felt very watery energy with this group. So I wouldn't be surprised if you have Cancer in your chart. You could also have Aries in your chart as well, either strongly or just in like your more personal planets. You have the Poet. And then you also got the Vessel. So again, more about the body. And then for your crystals, I took 2 of them. You got green calcite, which is fertility, abundance, and growth, which is Cancer, Venus. And then you also got pink fluorite, which is guidance, ease, and comfort, which is Pisces, Mercury. So again, more water. So if you have Pisces or Cancer, and then of course, Mercury and Venus are highlighted as well. And those can be a combination. Those can be in the 4th house for you. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you know your astrology, those might be some confirmations for you. But basically, it's just expanding on what Lena and I were talking about, where you deserve to feel good about yourself and to know that you're worth it, that you're doing enough, and that everything that you've been doing is perfect, like the way that it is. There's no such thing as actual perfection, right? But the way that you do things now is exactly how you're supposed to do them. And it is perfect for you, regardless of what anybody else says. Like, you are doing more than enough and you're right on track at all points in your life, right? So, you know, that confidence boost, I feel like you're going to have a couple of things happen where you're going to feel more confident. You're going to feel more nurtured and loved and cared for. Whether that be, you know, you put your work out there, because of course we have the Poet, right? So whether that be you put like artwork out there and you have people that come to you and are like, I just love your work so much. Like, you do such a great job and it's amazing and it makes me feel XYZ. Like, I feel like you're going to have a lot of interactions kind of like that, where it's very nurturing and like loving and caring from people. And it's going to help you kind of feel comforted in areas where you maybe lately have felt really lonely, or like you've been healing a lot and like you just are feeling like some areas are a little raw still. I feel like you're going to have a lot of people come in and support you and show you that, you know, those things that are there that you're afraid of or that you've been healing, like the work that you've done has been worth it. You can see it, and you are cared about and loved, and people are appreciative of what you do, whatever that may be. And I feel like right now, you know, you might be going through some stuff as far as like your image goes or like your body. And I feel like you're going to go through this period where people are going to compliment you on things, and you're going to be like, wow, it feels really, really good. Like, I didn't know people noticed XYZ. And I feel like there's a lot around like being confident in who you are and like loving who you are and being nurturing to who you are and knowing that like you are good enough just as you are, regardless of anything else. And I feel like positive affirmations for this group are extremely important. Like, I'm not necessarily someone that does a great job with affirmations. Like, I forget half the time, but I will say that when I do them, I feel so much better. Like, because you're in there and you're telling yourself, like, I'm enough, I'm special, I'm loved, I'm beautiful, I'm handsome, you know, like you're telling yourself all these great things. And that's nurturing and loving to yourself. And that's what you deserve. And I feel like some of you might be going through some changes in your fourth house. So your fourth house is all about like home and family. So you might be going through like maybe you're moving, or maybe something is changing in your foundation, meaning like maybe something in like the people that you're around every day, or like the things that you do every day that you would consider like homey. So for instance, like if you have a routine and it feels very much like home, it might be that some things in that routine are shifting, but I don't think it's in a bad way. I think it's in a way that's more healthy for you and more comforting for you. And I feel like with these shifts and changes that are coming in, you're going to have a lot of abundance that starts to flow in, and growth. And we already kind of talked about that with like the Six of Wands and the happy, like the Sun card. And I feel like because you're feeling more courageous, you're putting yourself out there more, and you're actually allowing people in to help you. And I feel like that's just going to attract more and more into your life, as long as you're able to go ahead and let yourself receive it, because you should know that you deserve whatever is coming in.
Yes, I 100% agree with that wholeheartedly. Also, I just want to say that the Cancer element of this group is extremely overwhelming. Like, actually, there was something, I find this hilarious because, which I will get to it in a second, but there's something that I wrote at the beginning of the reading, and you have the fourth house, which is the house of home, and something about your, and you have a lot of Cancer energy here, which is about the home. And I found this very funny because in the beginning of the reading, I had heard from a TXT interview, there was something that Soobin said where he said, "I love to stay my home." And I wrote that quote down because I heard it. And I find that very funny. So you guys might be, like Becca said, potentially moving new home, but this could even be about finding home, like within yourself, within what you like, actually finally feeling at home in yourself and feeling that confidence, because you have that I am. So that's sticking out to me, like you're finally going to feel at home in yourself. Like I think that's what you're going to be finding these last 4 months, is like that feeling of I love to stay in my home of like myself, of like I love to be in my authentic power of myself. And that brings you so much joy and love and abundance, because this group is definitely a group of like very, very gentle souls. But I think for a long time you've been wearing kind of a mask and presenting another side of yourself more often than leaning into that vulnerability.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. Let's go ahead and let's look and see what maybe some magical things might be coming in. And then we'll also get a song from TXT so that we can get you some lyrics. And then we'll roll your astro dice as well to see what we can get. So let's see what Spirit wants to tell you about some things that could be coming in the next 4 months. The first one is heart and throat opening.
I literally wrote that heart chakra opening throat plus throat in your messages.
Yeah. Well, you have green and pink, which are the colors of the heart chakra as well. So I'm not surprised. And then, of course, like I said, the more courage you have, the more you express yourself, which is all about the throat chakra. And that brings in more abundance and opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Crown and third eye activation. Much like the first group, they're not giving us much.
Yeah.
So crown and third eye. Yeah. And let's see if they'll give us one more. If they don't, I'll show you what's in the bottom. 3, 2. Oh, they gave you 2 more. Okay. Manifest and be blessed. Oh yeah, and financial.
Ooh. Okay. Beautiful.
Yes. And then let's get you some lyrics. Let's try not to get them all stuck together. Oh, okay. Hold on. I didn't think this through very well. Okay. Okay. So you guys got Magic, which is off of their new album. It says, oh, it's just like magic. Feeling your touch. Oh, it's a rush. No one else has it. Just like magic. Holding me tight, giving me life. It's magic.
Oh.
So for you guys, I feel like it's just about believing in magic, but I almost feel like for you guys, this is more, I know it sounds like it's about someone else, which it might be. You very well might have somebody coming in if that's something that you're looking for. That makes you feel very good and very like happy and loved and cared about. And it also makes you feel like, you know, more loving towards yourself as well. But this also for me could talk about you feeling this way about yourself, like about kind of this feeling of just like Lena said, being really at home with yourself and really just knowing that like you are magic just the way that you are, and that, you know, you can basically create and manifest whatever it is that you desire.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I feel like that's something that's a really big message for this group, is to have faith in yourself and to know that you are good enough and that you can do it.
Yes. I'm hearing that song. It's an old song. That one's like, I feel good. I knew that I would now. So I feel like that's kind of like the energy you're going to be coming into.
Which is exciting. And
yes.
a much needed break from the 5 of Cups. So let's get you guys some Astro Dice. Okay. Lol. Okay, so we have Cancer.
Okay.
North Node. And then, yeah, your 6th house. Wow, that couldn't be more perfect. Okay, so your 6th house is all about health and routine. And body image is kind of a big thing. Obviously, the 1st house is about the self, but the 6th house deals with like your workout regimen and what you eat and your normal day-to-day activities. And then Cancer, of course, we've already talked about, right? Like that's the 4th house. That's home and family. That's that nurturing, loving energy. It's also the sign of the mother. So it's kind of like mothering yourself. But the North Node is all about like your life's purpose, basically. And for me, I feel like healing the things that you're healing right now and being very loving and gentle with yourself and incorporating that into your daily routine is going to help you move forward on your life's purpose. I feel like you're already on path. Like you're never off path. People that tell you that you're off path, quote unquote, unless you're doing something like completely that you know you shouldn't be doing.
Yes,
like,
or hurting others.
Right. Like you're not off path. So, you know, you're always on path. But I feel like with this, it's part of your life's purpose to kind of work through this trauma. So some of this stuff that you might be having issues with, it could be ancestral trauma. It could be trauma from, you know, other people. It could be that it's from your childhood, of course, because most traumas do come from our childhood, but not all do. Some of it comes from your ancestors and from your family lineage. So if you look back and you see like oh, it's true. Like my parents treat themselves this way, and so did my grandparents. And I can see the pattern and how it's kind of gone down the line. Like that happens sometimes too. But I feel like whatever these traumas are, whatever these wounds are, these things that you've been working through, or these insecurities that you've been trying to nurture yourself through, the more that you nurture yourself and do things in your day to day routine that's loving and caring toward yourself and is, really going to make you feel happy and loved and cared for, like the more you're going to be on path and the more abundance that's going to come in, because you're healing that wound that's there and you're letting it go so that you can create space for all of this good stuff to come in. And it's not that it's not meant to come in, or that it's like gonna come, oh, if I don't do this then like XYZ. No, it whatever happens in life is meant to happen, so nothing's going to pass you by. It's just that the more that you heal this, the more space you create. And so like it can come in either like a lot faster, or it can just be, it might manifest bigger than you thought it would. It's just kind of like that practice of receiving and allowing yourself to receive. But definitely sixth house energy, which is Virgo. So if you have Virgo in your chart, that could be a thing too for you. But I'm feeling more strongly that it's just talking about putting more loving, nurturing energy into your day-to-day routine, being very kind to yourself, making sure that you're eating foods that are good for you and that you actually enjoy and that make you happy. And then, of course, working out in moderation in the way that is good for you, that feels good, whether that be like yoga, lifting weights, running, swimming, biking, jogging, walking, whatever it may be. It's just about doing things that feel good and are nurturing for you, but are also really healthy for you. And that's going to make you feel really, really good. And that's going to help with the confidence and help you feel better about your, like your body and like your mind and your soul. It's all going to feel a lot better because of that.
Mm-hmm. I agree with all of that 100%. Okay, so before we wrap, I wanted to give you your channel messages that came through. So first thing that I got for you guys, which I thought was funny because in the first group I got the piano scale, but for you guys, I got harp or guitar strings. That's what I was seeing, and kind of seeing someone like strumming them. And I got a bunch of song references, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is a group with like people who are like really love music or are musicians, because we had stuff like I think about like art and things like that as well. So I got that. We had cherries. I also heard hello baby. So I don't know if like you have a baby or like, it just could be something like hello babe. I love to stay my home, which I already talked about. Then I actually saw a baby. So an actual baby. This could also be some type of creation. Again, like you could actually be creating life, like if you're in that stage. Or you could be creating something new for yourself. A butterfly, protection, black crystals came out specifically, and you have a black butterfly. So again, that reminds me of protection. Airplane, a French bulldog, heart chakra opening and throat. We have spreading your wings, bridge. I saw a bridge. Then we have the song Raincoat by Kelly Sweet, which is a really, really pretty like melodic type, I think that's how you'd say that song. And it's just kind of like talking about how like things are going to be all right. Like she talks about like how she's going to put on her raincoat and she knows everything's going to be okay, like, and she talks about like, so it feels fitting for you guys. A fox, and then I heard courage of your convictions, there is always hope, feminine energy. So you're with all the Cancer energy, 100% feminine energy here. Alpaca, so that could be an important animal for you. The number 11, conquer your shadow. It's okay to be vulnerable. That is your strength. Lean into your heart, not your shell or brawn. So basically, like what I'm getting a lot for this group is that I think it's almost like you're afraid of your feminine energy. You're afraid of that vulnerability because maybe you've been told that like you're too sensitive or you're too this, but like that's the part of you that people actually really, really love, and you need to not be afraid of it. basically, is kind of what I'm getting. Like that you had that comfort, ease with the pink fluorite. That's the type of energy that you give other people. You make them feel comfortable and loved and cared for. And you need to give that energy to yourself and know that it's okay to be that way. You don't have to be like, you know, the vessel. Or I almost feel like with that stuff that Becky was getting about like body image and stuff like that, it was like you know, you put too much weight on how you look outside and you're super hard on yourself about it. And really what Spirit is saying is like, what you need to do is put value on what's inside, because what's inside of you, it are the most important parts of you and are the parts that people really love. And if you take away this mask, right, like this body that you have, no matter what state of shape it's in, like it won't, you know what I mean? Like that's not going to be as good as what's inside. And you have to be the one to realize that it's your inside that really shines out, that people really love, and it's not so much the outside like you think it is. And then last I got Put Your Records On by Corinne Bailey Rae, which is a cute song. That one's definitely about kind of like letting it go, like letting your hair down is kind of what she says in the song. Like she talks about like, I hope you get your dreams. So again, that goes really well with the magic and the manifestation. So that's just kind of this is a very soft pile, honestly. Like I'm a little like right in my heart.
Yes, it is very soft. The energy is very calming and comforting. Mm-hmm. And for some of you, get more sleep is a big thing. More sleep, more water. Just make sure that you're really taking care of yourself because you deserve it. So, you know, make sure you're getting plenty of rest when you need it. And, you know, I don't know. It is very soft pile. Yes. But basically, you know, hopefully that gives you some idea of what to expect. I know most of it is going to be a lot of confidence and happiness. And you did have a lot about abundance too, and success. So be excited, because I'm excited for you. But hopefully you liked it. Please leave us a comment. Let us know if it resonated for you. Hit like, subscribe. Let us know what you think. You can find us on pretty much all social media. We have a TikTok, we have Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram. I always forget everything at this point, but basically we have everything. All the things. All the things. You can go find them. They'll be linked below anyways. So, you know, you can go find us on there. We do pick a cards and stuff on other sites as well. And then our Tumblr is mostly astrology at the moment. So go ahead and check those out. But hopefully this resonates for you, and feel free to pick another pile if you were drawn to any of the other piles. But hopefully we see you in our next pick a card.
Bye-bye.
If you picked pile 3 or card 3, you picked Yeonjun. See if I can get the card. So here he is. And then this is also, I call it the fall pile, but it's the November pile. Now that doesn't mean that you have to like, you know, have a birthday in November, just be attracted to November in general. It covers all 4 months. So it's not just November, it's September through December. And it's what magic can you expect to have the next 4 months, or can you be anticipating? It has early sunsets and comfy sweaters. You have the cute little pumpkin, and then you have harvest wishes. And fall is actually one of my favorite seasons. Fall and winter actually are my favorite seasons. So I'm super excited. Too. I'm super pumped. And basically we're going to get to see what to expect. We have tarot, we have oracle, and then we also have, excuse me, we also have some messages on what you might be expecting to come into your life. And then we also have a song that we will shuffle out from TXT, and it will have lyrics. So hopefully you go listen to it when we shuffle that out. And then we also have Astro Dice, and Lena's doing channel messages as well. So we have quite a bit for you guys today, which is super exciting. I know it's been quite a while since we've done one of these. We've been working on healing and learning all sorts of stuff. I'm super good at astrology now. I'm just putting that out there. I'm going to toot my own horn.
She's a full-fledged astrologer now.
Yes. Well, getting there. I'm doing my thing. Lately I've been looking at solar returns, which some of you that are watching this might actually have one in the next few months, and that's super exciting. It just means that it's your birthday. So if it is your birthday or your birthday's coming up, happy birthday from us. Super exciting. I know my birthday's in September. My birthday is actually the same day as Yeonjun's. So September 13th, holla. But you know, you don't have to have a birthday in this pile. If you were drawn to any of the other piles, I'm going to put this out there because I almost forget in the outro every time. If you were drawn to more than one pile, you can pick more than one pile. Doesn't mean you have to stick with one pile, but like we said, this whole pile is going to encompass the next 4 months. So it's not just like just November. But I like November a lot. But let's go ahead and get into your tarot, and we'll see kind of what to expect the next 4 months as far as some magic that could be happening for you. And I know the first two groups, they were very exciting. So I'm excited to see how this group goes already. You have the Chariot right out the gate. Knight of Swords. This is very, very fast moving energy. Oh, okay. You have the Ace of Cups and the Three of Cups. And let me get you one more, and then we'll do the deck. Okay. Okay, and then you have Ace of Swords. Lots of new beginning energy. And then at the bottom of the deck, you have the King of Wands. Ooh, okay, so for this group, yeah, this is going to be a very transformative next few months. But basically what I'm getting, it's going to be very fast moving, and things are going to be going in a very good direction. So with this, with aces, those are always new beginnings. They're like offers from spirit. They're offers from the universe. They are usually new beginnings. Ace of Cups is usually a very emotionally fulfilling beginning, whereas the Ace of Swords is usually very clarity based and knowledge based. Three of Cups is all about friendship, working together, feeling that camaraderie, having that like unconditional friendship, love around you. Knight of Swords is very, very, very fast moving. The Knight of Swords moves in very, very fast. So for some of you, and so does the Chariot, but we'll get to the Chariot in a second. For some of you, these things are going to come a lot faster than I think you expect them to. Like, I feel like you're kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like, we've been told it's fast before, but you know, it'll probably be slow to start and everything's in. And I think Spirit's saying, no, like this is going to hit you very quickly, and you're going to be very busy, and you're going to have a lot going on, and a lot of communication, a lot of meeting new people, of finding things that make you feel fulfilled and happy. And I feel like you're going to be learning a lot as well. The Chariot is all about fast moving change forward. Like, it's like, I don't know if you can see this, but basically it's like flying through the clouds. And in this card, she has like lions, but usually it's literally a chariot. And I know there's the Mystic Mondays deck is one of my favorite decks. And for some reason, that image of the chariot is coming into my head, but it's basically this chariot that's like zooming through the sky. Right. So I feel like for you guys, it's very much things are going to happen very, very fast. There's going to be a lot of changes and a lot of new big life events. If I'm being honest, like I'm feeling like you're going to have a lot of big life events, but I think they're all going to be really good. I don't want you to be like, oh, well, things are going to be hunky dory either, though, because, you know, with new things comes anxiety sometimes. So just remember to breathe and to ground and to keep taking care of yourself through this, because even though like these are really great things, I think Spirit also wants you to make sure that you're staying grounded and make sure that you are, you know, still taking care of yourself and doing things that you need to do for you. Because when these things come in, you are going to get busy, and it could be a little bit stressful if it's different than what you've been experiencing. So let's say, for instance, you've been experiencing the last like few months have felt kind of stuck or like slow, or things just aren't really moving that fast. And so things have been really chill. Maybe you've been taking like some rest time or whatever that may be. The next few months are going to be different than that. So you might have like a black and white kind of situation where like for a few months it was like slow and quiet and like things were, you know, not really moving very fast. And then all of a sudden it's like the next 4 months are like zooming by and there's so much happening that you can barely catch your breath. And I think Spirit says you need to catch your breath. So during the next few months, make sure that you are doing things like meditating, breathing exercises, grounding. A lot of you go out, I feel like a lot of you probably want to be in nature. And the reason I say that is because of this card, actually. So if you look, they're all standing outside, like in the grass. So earthing might be a thing for you. I feel like connecting to people, communicating is also really important for you. And you're going to have a lot of opportunities to communicate with people, specifically about your feelings too. So I feel like you're being encouraged to share and to, communicate how you feel, communicate your knowledge with people that you are finding a common interest in. And you're going to find almost like a community vibe. Like you might find that you have new people that you're meeting that make you feel really loved and uplifted, and like you have like a place that you belong. And I feel like that's going to come in very, 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 very quickly for you guys.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. First of all, when those cards came flying out, I was like, oh yeah, there's definite movement here. The Chariot for one, obviously, and then the Knight of Swords. So it's like, that is like Becca said, that fast movement. And then again with the Ace of Swords, like you're going to just obtain so much knowledge and wisdom. And I was picking up a lot just in general of like crown chakra opening and third eye. So I feel like it's not only about like things and maybe people coming into your environment. It's going to be, especially if you're a spiritually based person, a lot of downloads, a lot of insight, a lot of ideas, things popping into your head constantly. So listen to it and keep a notebook handy, or like the notes app on your phone, because like just any little thing that you get, like it might not seem important, but write it down. So like if you're chilling there and all of a sudden you get like an image of like, a fruit fly for some reason, right? Just write it down. Like you're just like, I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll die. Like, but no, I mean, like, you might get that, and then later you'll find out, look up the spiritual meaning of that. And it'll be like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Or it will come into correlation somehow through that day. It could be a silly idea. Like, I feel like, when I get home, I really feel like, just turning on music and like power cleaning my house and like just jumping around and dancing, and like that just makes you feel really good, you know what I mean? Like in that, so just trust those, like basically what I'm getting is like trust that body, like the instinct, the body of like the downloads that come in, and then how the body responds to them, and follow those things and you won't be led wrong. And then with the Ace of Cups and the Three of Cups, you're going to, like I said, get a lot of knowledge, but your cups are going to be full too. Like you're coming into this place of, what I'm hearing them say is pure enlightenment and pure fulfillment, which is great energy to get. Would love that for me. So I think that's great energy to get. That's definitely, like I said, what I'm hearing is like that. You're finally going to be blooming from the things that you've planted, is like what they're showing me. It's like, I see this garden. Oh, it's reminding me of that song, Chasing Cars by Snow Patrol. That I'm hearing that lyric, the show me a garden that's bursting into life. That's exactly what's happening for you. I see this garden that's like from these little dirt piles, and they're just sprouting. Everything is coming up, and there's like beautiful trees and flowers, and like it's just really pretty in there. And like specifically I'm seeing like cherry blossom trees and peaches and like vines that are like climbing up a trellis. So like if any of that imagery means anything to you, I'm seeing a lot of that. Just this really beautiful like crystal lined path, like all the flowers have little like crystals on it. It's gorgeous. Like it's a gorgeous little like place, and it feels so peaceful. So maybe that's a place you could visit for yourself in a meditation, like if you're feeling stressed and kind of need to come back down, that could be really helpful for you. But definitely it feels like that. And it feels like, again, like I said, it's almost like this, I don't know, it's just a very, very spiritual energy, and I feel very light right now. And I think that's something that you guys are needing to hear, that like there's going to be this lightness, and like I just said, like you're just going to feel lighter. And that's very much what I'm getting right now. It's like it's just gonna be like, oh, I feel so much better than I did like a couple months ago. Like it's just gonna be that like like they said, complete enlightenment and fulfillment. Like, and that's just, there's no better energy to get, if you ask me, than that.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I'm just shuffling out a couple of crystals for you if they will fall out. Hold on. But yes, I agree with that. And I'm actually really excited to show you guys what you're getting, because that Ace of Cups is coming in strong. We'll just put it that way. Just super exciting and very soft. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and we're going to get into your oracle cards. Okay. So I said this in the last group, but we were only trying to take 2 of these cards, but this group and group 2 got 3. But we have Tranquility, which is Stonecrop and Apollo. We got Magnificence, which actually came out in pile 1. So if you were drawn to pile 1, which was Taehyun, then, you know, you should watch that if you're feeling drawn to it. And then the third one is Affection, which I thought was really soft, which is Rose and Viridian's Blue. So some romantic energy potentially. And I say that even stronger because you got the 5th house, which it says creativity, but the 5th house is also the house of Leo, which is the house of romance, specifically new romance.
Dating.
And then you got the North Node, which is Destiny. So already, and just to top it off, you got the Kiss.
Oh.
And the Seed. And
all
then
right, some of you be careful.
Yeah, some of you be careful.
A fertile time for you.
Yes, in multiple ways, but we'll get there in a second. You got Citrine Spirit Quartz, which looks like this. It's very pretty. It is intentional self-awareness and discernment, and it's for all signs, sun and moon. Again, it's that orange energy, so that's sacral chakra. And then you have Wave Light, which is gorgeous. It's green. Decisions, flow, and big picture, and this is Aquarius moon. So if you have Aquarius, I see Leo in here, but there's not much else. I think Chariot is Cancer.
Yes,
right?
Chariot, Cancer.
Yes. So if you have any of those signs, then that could be confirmation for you. Also, they want me to show you the bottom of the deck for the astrology decks, which I haven't done again for any of the other groups, so don't tell them. But you got Jupiter return benefits, and then you also have Virgo. So if you have Virgo in your placements, then this could be for you. And then of course, Jupiter is also Sagittarius energy, so there's that as well. But we'll go ahead and we'll look at these. So for me, I feel like this just kind of puts on top of what we were already talking about, but it kind of adds a lot of information about potentially a romance coming in. So this is going to be like fun, flirty, like dating. You might find someone that you are planting the seed with. Now, when I say planting the seed, I mean like it's the start of a relationship. So it doesn't mean like you're going to be like right away, like, oh my God, you're my forever person. Like, I feel like it's just kind of that fun, like dating, like we're just kind of starting out, and it could be your person, or it might not be, but I feel like it's just getting yourself out there, and you're going to find someone that really resonates with your energy, and you're going to have a lot of chemistry. Because with the kiss, this actually talks about leading up to like sensuality and like intimacy, more so than the kiss itself. So I feel with that, like there's going to be a lot of romance potentially that comes in for you, for some of you. Now for others, all of this energy, if it's not romance, could be about a new project that you're working on. So with the creativity and with the seed, what that says to me, as well as the destiny, is very much about like planting the seed to this new idea, or having these creative ideas and being able to really allow them to grow. So you might be finding all these new things that have been coming into your mind, or maybe you have like a stockpile of ideas somewhere that you've wanted to put into practice but have never known how. You're finally going to have the opportunities to do that. And so you'll be able to plant the seed and have a romance with that, if that makes sense. For some of you, that affection could be self-love and about, being very loving and nurturing towards yourself, but allowing yourself that confidence to put yourself out there as well. And I mean, that can go with either way. But whatever the way that it is, it's part of your destiny. So whatever is going to happen the next few months, I feel like with what Lena was getting, like this is a very spiritual time for you in the sense that it's very, very guided. It's not something that you're just kind of like floating around, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, even though it might feel that way, you are very, very guided. There is a plan and you're right on track. And you're gonna, like I said, it's almost like you don't expect things to move as fast as they're going to move. And then all of a sudden, all of this stuff starts happening and it's just going to kind of compound upon each other and accelerate. And I feel like even though that's the case, they still sent out the tranquility card. So I feel like you're so connected spiritually, or, you're so grounded in whatever way it might be for this group, which I feel like most of this group is spiritual, if I'm being honest. But whatever way that you're connected, I feel like you're still going to feel at peace. So the things that you're doing and the opportunities that come in, even though like most of them are going to be surprised and they might come faster than you think, like it might create a little bit of anxiety, but I think at the same time, it's going to bring you a lot of peace and a lot of clarity and a lot of, just feeling very comforted by it and kind of finding that place where you're like, oh, okay, well, that makes me feel better. Like, especially if you're getting clarity on things that maybe you've been confused about or you've been asking for clarity on for a long time, like that could be where that tranquility comes from, because you can finally breathe out about those things. And then, of course, you got the decisions flow and big picture with intentional self-awareness and discernment. So you might have some things come up where you have multiple options. I don't know exactly what that means. It could mean that you have multiple romantic interests that are like, hey, I want to date you at the same time. It could mean that you have multiple projects going on at once and you have to decide like what is the most important one to you at that time. Like it could be that you are just trying to make different decisions. Like maybe you're moving or you're trying to like do something new and you're kind of trying to decide between like, where do I move, or like, do I stay here? Do I go here? Do I try out this thing or do I try out this thing? Like, I feel like there could be some choices and you'll have to have that discernment to make those decisions. But Spirit also wants you to know that you can just kind of go with the flow. Like you don't have to anticipate anything because you're not going to know what's coming, because it's very guided, like I said. So just kind of let yourself go with the flow and know that whatever decision that you make it from your heart and from what feels right for you and what what actually is something that you need. Which somebody gave me that advice recently, that I'm going to be looking more at what I need instead of what I think I want or what I think I need. And I'm going to be seeing it in that way. And I feel like it's kind of similar for this group of, you're going to know what you need and you're going to be able to make that decision and to say like, I know that I need this, so I'm going to say no to this thing, but I can say yes to this. So any decisions that you make, just know and have the confidence in yourself to know that you will make the right decision for yourself, regardless of what else is going on. And I think it's really, really exciting because this energy is very, very much like that flirty, playful, like Lena said, like that lighter energy. So I'm actually pretty excited for this group because it seems like it's going to be grounded, but really exciting at the same time.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. And like, it's funny because I've been writing channel messages as Becca's been talking, and then like I'll write something down and then she'll kind of mention it like right after I've written it down. I'm like, oh, well, that's good. Like confirmation that like we're picking up on the same vibes. But I think that that's really, really cool. Yeah, for me with these oracles in particular, like I'm really feeling, like I said, like that lightness that I was kind of talking about before. And then like with your north node being here, this is part of your path. Like we talked about earlier, I believe it was in this group, but it might have been in the group before. But basically, like you're never really off path unless you're doing something that hurts someone else, like, purposely, because we accidentally hurt people because we're human. But I'm talking about like, actually setting out to hurt someone, like planning and, revenge. That's not part of your path because that's just not our job. But you know, you're never really off path, because, you know, even if you take the long way around, like, Spirit kind of already knew that that might be a possibility. So they had that plan too. So, like, don't worry that, like, you're ever messing up the plan, is, like, one of the things that I'm hearing. But with the North Node and that little explosion in it right there, it feels very much like I'm almost hearing that song, excuse me, you dropped a bomb on me, baby. That song. And that's what it's kind of gonna feel like. It's gonna just be like, but in a good way. Like you said, you have that tranquility, so it's almost like you might be overwhelmed, but it's gonna be okay. Like, you're gonna be able to come back around, because it's gonna be a positive overwhelm. There's nothing that I'm feeling where it's like, oh, you're gonna feel really heavy, like you're gonna be going through, like, it doesn't mean that things won't come up and that you won't have hard days. No, I will never tell you that life is gonna be perfect, but I will say that of the groups that this one is the lightest and a lot of, like, free energy. And it's like, for me, I feel like what I'm hearing is you've done a lot of the work, so let yourself enjoy it. That's what I'm hearing from Spirit. When I got chills as I said that, so that must be a big message for this group. Let yourself enjoy it. Like, just basically allow this energy to come in and just embrace it with your whole heart and just, like, go for it. Like, that's what I feel like. It's kind of like I'm seeing, like, a little kid who, like, gets to go out, like, on the soccer field for the first time, and they're running with all that energy and they're so excited because they're going to play their first game. Like, that's what it feels like. It's like, yes, like, just go for it. Like, that's kind of the energy that I feel. And so, like I said, there's a lot here for you guys. So it's very, very soft. And just like that card, the magnificence, let the magnificence flow into your life. Yeah. And might mean something for some of you. Greatest Showman. Haven't seen it. If you have seen it, that just it's that energy of the songs. I only watched it recently because of Becca, and I know it's something that she loves, but it just was very much like that soundtrack might really resonate with the energy of this group, and that's kind of the vibe that I'm feeling.
Yes, I totally agree with that, and it is a great show, and you should definitely watch it, especially if you are seeking magic, because it's a very magical musical. But we will go ahead. We're gonna see if they'll give us any cards on what to expect. Maybe they'll back it up, and then we'll also do a card from here and your Astro Dice as well. So let's see. The last two groups, they were very picky about these cards. They did not want to give us information. Mm-hmm. So let's see if they want to with this group or not. Oh. Love and meeting the one / marriage.
I'm glad, because your channel messages were definitely on that wavelength, which I'll get to at the end.
Yeah. Soul family incoming. And then the bottom is financial abundance.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, let's see what, and I'll put that out there for you guys. Let's see which TXT song they send out for you and not get them all like mixed up like that. There you go. Okay, let's see if I can shuffle today. That would be okay. What did you get? You got Magic Island. It says, remember our star song. We were stars in it. The melody that was shining with dreams. Don't forget forever. This place is our start line, the starlight of the day we saw together. Don't forget the night. You can't forget this place.
That goes perfectly with that fifth house.
Yes, it does. Very, very like dreamy, magical energy. Like Magic Island is all about this magical place that TXT has in their music videos and as their, vibe, basically. But they basically go to this island and it's full of like magical things. And I kind of feel like for this group, like, especially if you're getting Greatest Showman, like that song, A Million Dreams, which is like the main song from there, is very much about like a million dreams are keeping me awake. Like it's very much about like chasing after all of those dreams and allowing yourself to go after them no matter what, and actually believing in the magic of those dreams and knowing that you can do it. I feel like that's pretty big for this group.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do your astro dice to see if they'll give us more there. Okay. Okay. 4th house, Scorpio, and the North Node, I believe.
North Node twice.
Yes, it is. I had to make sure. Is that North or South? Hold on. Yeah, that's North Node. Okay. I was like, I'm pretty sure. So basically for me, this is very, very interesting for me. First of all, again, it's all about your destiny, right? Because the North Node is all about destiny. The 4th house is the house of home and family. It's the house of nurturing, of the mother, of Cancer, basically. And then Scorpio is the sign of death and rebirth, transformation, sex and sensuality. So again, if you are active and old enough, be careful, because with the seed coming out, you might have some unexpected things that happen. So just be careful, use protection. But basically with that, like, this is more about like a transformation. And we kind of actually, this vibe kind of goes a little bit with group number 2 as well, with this transformative feeling of like home, of like feeling right at home in your destiny. And with this, it's a little bit different because the last group was very like Cancerian, whereas like with this group, I feel like, yes, the 4th house is Cancer, but you have Scorpio that popped out. So I feel like it's a little bit more, not necessarily dark, just kind of like a different type of water vibe. And I feel like it's very much like this energy of everything is changing, right? So like you're going through a rebirth now. Like you've kind of been through this death process. You've been doing all of this work, and now it's time for the rebirth part of it. And that's super exciting because it's basically when the butterfly's wings pop out of the cocoon, right? So like when they pull themselves out of the cocoon and they're ready to actually fly, like I feel like that's very much the vibe for this group. And I feel like some of you might be moving. Some of you might be relocating homes. Some of you might be finding that you have a place that you want to travel to, that you go to, that you find, oh, well, maybe this is a place that I want to move to someday. Or it could potentially just mean that you have people around you or surroundings that are making you feel at home, as well as maybe you have done all this work that now you're feeling so confident in yourself that no matter where you are or who you're with, you feel like you're at home, which is very, very soft. But again, this is all part of your purpose. Like this is all part of your path. And I feel like all of those deaths and transformations that you've done, they're to be shared now and to be put out there, because you're so, like, you've worked through all of them. And now that you've done that, you are so at home with yourself and so comfortable and like nurturing and loving to yourself and to others that you're ready to kind of put that out there and share that with the world, is kind of the stuff I'm picking up from that.
I agree wholeheartedly. Okay, so now to wrap up here with your channeled messages. First thing that I got for you guys was like a camera shutter. I heard it and then I saw like the camera. And so like I'm thinking like obviously photography, or again making memories. So that could very well, with soul family incoming and potentially meeting the one, you might be making a lot of new memories. Inner child expression, which again, like with that 5th house, which rules children, I can feel that inner child vibe. So like I think like Becca said, you're stepping into like this really loving where you are right now and loving like yourself, like truly fully. And that's letting that inner child express, which is like just hyping up everything for you. It's like everything, I'm seeing a little dial turn all the way to 10. So it's like new. I got tango. So I kind of mentioned something about dancing with this group earlier, so maybe that's something like that would be fun for you. The number 11, which did come out in group 2, so if it feels right, you can watch that pile as well. Aries energy came through for me. The letter M, a bouquet of flowers. And it's funny because I wrote this before we even got the 5th house, but I got bouquet of flowers and I wrote courting. So again, there's definitely something about a potential new relationship here, or flirtationship or something like that. Rocket ship, and the rocket ship also did look like something phallic. So again, if you are of age and all that stuff, be careful if you are not looking for a baby right now. Shooting star, trees, Crown and third eye activation came through very strong. Pop goes the weasel. So like to me that means like surprise, because if you know that nursery rhyme, like the weasel pops out of the little thing. Ostrich, squirrel, X marks the spot. So to me it's kind of like finding that treasure, you know. Koala, the letter Y, shark fins. Make You Feel My Love by Adele. I love that song. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. So those could be important times of these 4 months. Also, it's raining men, which made me laugh. And when Becca was talking about like having a lot of romantic options potentially. So that could be for some of you. Couple kissing, I did see that. So again, pulling those vibes. We got a fox, a camel, raisins for some reason. I don't know. And then last we got Wings by BTS.
Quite a variety.
Yes. So hopefully something in there resonates for you guys.
Yes. But that is what we had for you guys. I'm really excited for this group. I think there's going to be a lot of like fun energy, but it's still calm. Like it's like a calm but excited vibe. And that's super exciting. And I love this energy. I could probably live here for a little bit. But basically, like you might have some really fun relationships coming in. But hopefully that resonated. Leave us a comment, a like, hit subscribe. Check us out on all of our other social medias, which is like every social media ever. We have TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, whatever else it may be. We mostly just do astrology on our Tumblr, and then we also do other pick cards and stuff on like our TikTok and our Instagram as well. So you know, you can check those out. And we know it's been a while since we've done one of these, but we do want to continue to do these. And you know, I didn't say this in the other groups, but we've been looking at doing a podcast as well. So keep an eye out for that, and maybe incorporating some more K-pop into our stuff, which we're pretty excited about. But you know, let us know what you think. If you were attracted, like I said, to one of the other piles, feel free to check those out. You don't have to stick to just one, because you may have things coming in from all of them. You never know. So hopefully that resonated for you. Go listen to TXT, listen to Magic and Magic Island and all of their music, because it's amazing. But hopefully we will see you in our next video.
Yep. Bye-bye. I heard to tell you guys, see you later, Moa. So maybe there are some Moas in this pile. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. If you chose pile 4, you chose HeuningKai. And then you also have the deer and the eat, drink, and be merry. So if you chose this pile, this is December's pile, but each pile covers all 4 of the months. So it covers September through December, regardless of which pile you chose. Now, if you were attracted to more than one pile, that's totally okay. You can watch more than one, because you might have messages in more than one pile. But we're going to go over what magic is going to happen the next 4 months, or could happen the next 4 months for you. We have tarot, we have oracle, we have some little handmade cards that have some things that could be coming in, as well as we will get you a song by TXT with some lyrics. And then we also have Astro Dice, and Lena's doing channel messages as well. Yes. And then we know it's been a while, but we are glad to be back and glad to be doing a pick a card for you guys. But let me see if there's anything I'm forgetting. There probably is, but we'll probably figure it out later if I forget. But we will go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with your tarot to see kind of what magic you can expect next few months. Oh, also with holiday season. So obviously not everybody celebrates Christmas. So, you know, take this with a grain of salt. If you don't celebrate that holiday, but something comes up for Christmas, just know that we are not discriminatory against any holidays or anything like that. We both celebrate Christmas, but that doesn't mean that you have to. So just take that with a grain of salt as well. But let's go ahead and let's get into the tarot to see kind of what you might expect the next few months. Oh, okay. You got the Lovers. Starting off strong, I see. Also got the Ace of Swords, which the last group got the Ace of Swords as well, which is a new beginning. 3 more for you guys. Okay, we got the Queen of Cups. The 8 of Wands. Oh, tossing things out here. Okay. One more. Okay, well, that's way more than one. Hold on. I'm only taking one card, Spirit. And then I'll show the bottom of the deck. Okay, and then the 6 of Cups. And then the bottom of the deck is, let's see. They said to shuffle it one more time. I guess you get an extra card. No, they said this is the one that they want you to have this one, so they don't want me to put it at the bottom. The Page of Cups is the last card, so we'll just stick that guy over here.
Okay.
Okay, so don't tell the other groups. You got one more card. We have the Lovers, the Ace of Swords, the Queen of Cups, the 8 of Wands, the 6 of Cups, and the Page of Cups. It's a lot of water energy with just a little bit of like air and fire thrown in there. And then of course the Lovers is Gemini. So you could have Gemini in your chart. That could just be a confirmation for you. Or you could have Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, any of the air signs and any of the fire, but I'm feeling more water. And then of course, Gemini energy is out here too. So that doesn't mean that if you're not one of those things, this pile is not for you. Of course, if you pick this pile, then something will probably resonate for you in here, regardless of the signs that show up. But basically what I'm getting the next few months are going to be, I'm getting this almost like watery energy. It's similar to what we got in pile 2, which was like kind of a Cancerian energy, but this energy is a little bit more free flowing. It's a little bit more of a lighter energy. And kind of what I'm picking up from this is that the next few months are going to feel kind of nostalgic, but in a good way. And that nostalgic feeling is going to make you feel very like lighthearted, and it's going to help you kind of communicate and to have new opportunities come in. I feel like you're going to have more connection with spirit, but also more connection with others. So I feel very strongly that you're going to be connecting with others in a more public sense. But you could also be, you know, obviously with the Lovers, we could take that literally, right? So you may be meeting somebody that is a romantic interest for you. Especially because you have the Page of Cups down here. Like, even though this isn't the Knight of Cups, which I usually would see as an offer, I feel like you're kind of delving into some of your inner child stuff, but not in like a heavy way, in a way that's very like light and free and kind of like you're nurturing your inner child, right? And what that does is that helps you kind of find this emotional foundation for yourself. And in doing so, I feel like that brings in communication, clarity, feeling like you're, you know, very loved and nurtured and cared for and kind of in like this place of fulfillment emotionally. Because the Queen of Cups is a very emotionally intelligent person, someone who's usually pretty watery and caring and loving, kind of like a motherly energy. With the 6 of Cups, that is the inner child card, but also one thing for some people in this group, you may be finding out that you are having a child, or you may just be spending more time with children in general. So keep that in mind. That could be something that's exciting for you. Or you could just be meeting your person. You could be spending a lot of time communicating about your inner child and about your feelings with people that make you feel very loved and accepted. That's something that's very strong coming in. And I feel like a lot of the next 4 months is going to be emotional for you. Obviously, we have a lot of cups energy, and that's kind of what that talks about. But I feel like the next 4 months, it's not going to be emotional in the sense of like, oh God, I have to do more shadow work and I'm going to be so sad. And it's going to be a lot of emotions. And like, yes, at times there are going to be times when emotions are a big thing and they come up, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. like that's just how life is, right? You have your ups and your downs and you just kind of ride the waves, right? But I feel
I wrote ride the wave as one of the first channel messages for this group.
Nice. But I feel with this group, like it's gonna be emotional in the sense of a nurturing and calming, loving energy. Like you're gonna have a lot of emotional clarity and a lot of connection in that way. You're gonna feel very connected to yourself, very connected to spirit, and very connected to other people. And I feel like it's gonna make you feel like you are comforted, like in a comfortable place. Like I kind of get like this light and kind of like excited, but very comfortable, watery, going with the flow kind of energy.
Yes, 100%. Sorry, I'm writing down this channel message. But I agree with that wholeheartedly. Especially like with what Becca was talking about, with like your emotions, because for each group, to get channeled messages, I've also been like finger painting and just kind of seeing like what comes out in the imagery that helps me kind of like put things together. And this group, I felt like with each group, I kind of had like a set of colors that were speaking to me. And with this group, it was very much drawn to that I needed to go back to every color. And I was definitely doing a lot more mixing with this group. So there was a lot of like, again, that feeling of what she was talking about, like a lot of emotion, but it's not bad emotion. And it's emotion in every aspect of your life. Like I've used every chakra color in this one in particular. Like, and it's like they're blending in really beautifully. And I'm seeing like just a lot of, you know, like I said, just like everything's kind of mixing together really nicely. It's like everything is flowing. There's like an even flow almost of all the colors. And it makes sense to me because one of the things that I saw was a Kundalini rising, one of the first images. And that makes sense to me if like I'm picking all these colors for this group. So it's like you are probably going to feel a lot of emotions, and it's going to be like you're heard. But it's not like necessarily like you're heard from everyone around you. You're heard from yourself, from inside, which is where that like clarity, that Ace of Swords is coming from. Because I feel like, yes, while this could be literally the lovers, I almost feel like it's you offering that cup to your inner child. And your inner child is finally like, really? Like I get to live my dreams? And then as soon as like you hand the cup to the inner child, everything just fast. Like you're on top of your emotions. You have that love and that clarity for yourself, and you like, you know, you accept that offer. You're learning to be tender with your inner child, and basically what I'm seeing for that is like that's paying off huge.
Yes, I definitely agree. I'm just drawing your oracle cards. This group's guides are a little bit more picky than the other groups were. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I feel like mentioning that this group, if you felt drawn to any of the other piles, this group specifically, I feel like a lot of you might have been drawn to more than one group. So if that's the case, make sure that you go back and watch the other group that you were drawn to, or groups. You don't have to watch this one. That's okay. Okay, that's come out. Okay. I feel like I gypped the first group because this group also got 3 of the butterfly cards, even though we were trying to do 2. Let's see. Okay. All right, so I'll put these ones out here at least so that we can see them. And then I'll keep shuffling for your other oracles that we haven't gotten yet. So we have Innocence, which, like I said, this came out in group 2. So if you were interested, I would definitely watch that. Innocence, this actually for this group makes me think of the inner child, which is something different than what it was for group 2. But we talked about the inner child just a little bit, and that's why that's coming up for me. You also got Generosity, and then you got Joy as well. And then for your astrology cards, you got Black Moon Lilith, which is mystery. And then you also got Chiron, which is healing. And then let me get you some of the archetypes today. Okay, you got the mask. I'm gonna do one more. Which one thing that's standing out to me right away about the mask is the colors on one side. This is a very duality based thing, which again, duality came out in group 1. You also got the box. And then this is for Lena and I. We actually are watching a show where they talk about this. So I have to show you the bottom of the deck says the Bardo.
The Bardo, wow.
Okay. And I'm going to get you guys 2 crystal cards. So your first one is Tree Agate. Looks like this, which is stability, grounding, and root, which is Virgo Mercury. And then I'll get you one more crystal card, and then we'll talk about them and what they could mean. Hold on. That's like 50. Okay. Okay, and then the other one is Watermelon Tourmaline, which is love, balance, and clarity, and it's Gemini, Virgo, Venus, and Saturn. We did have Gemini come out in the tarot as well. So Gemini, Virgo, Venus, Saturn, and Mercury. And then you have Chiron and Black Moon Lilith, which neither of those have a set sign set with them, but those might be placements that you want to look at in your astrological chart. Now with this, what this is really saying to me about like what magic is coming in, I feel like things are going to feel a lot lighter. I feel like you've already been going through a lot of healing. And in doing so, that's bringing out a lot of like joy and innocence and like playfulness, and leaning into that innocence is going to allow you to heal things even further. So I feel like instead of it being like a heavy healing, which a lot of people who are spiritually inclined who have done like shadow work and had dark nights, like those are heavier, but this feels more like a light-hearted, like innocent energy, like an energy of like Lena said, like kind of finally going to your inner child and being like, hey, you know, like let's do things this way, and your inner child being like, finally, like I get to do that. Like that is very much the vibe. Like it's very much like this final acceptance of like allowing yourself to heal in a way that's very, very loving and caring and nurturing and like more happy. Like just allowing yourself to do things that make you feel happy, make you feel good, and not feeling guilty about it. I feel grounding is very, very important for this group, because I feel with all of that healing, with all of that joy, like you might have some very, very high highs and some very, very low lows, which kind of goes along with that ride the waves, right? So I feel like Spirit's very much about riding the waves with this group. So make sure that like, you know, you allow yourself to feel your feelings, and you allow yourself to be okay with changing from like being really, really happy one moment, and then the next moment you don't feel happy and you feel sad, or you feel anxious, or you feel scared, or you feel excited, or you feel joyous. Like whatever your feelings are, they're all valid. So allow yourself to feel them and allow yourself to shift through them, because nobody stays in one emotion for like the rest of their lives, right? We fluctuate. Healing is also not linear either. So things might feel great one day, and then the next day you might struggle with something, and that's okay. That's just part of being human. So allow that to happen. But just know that you're going to have a lot of joy, a lot of really good things coming in. And with generosity, I actually feel like that's generosity from other people. it could also be generous with yourself, like being generous of like heart and stuff with yourself. But I feel like it's more like you might have people that are going out of their way to do things for you just because they want to. Like you might have people that come in that are like, you know what, I'm going to do this really nice thing, or I'm going to gift you this thing just because I feel like it. And I think that's going to be very exciting and might be something that you're not used to. But it is going to bring you a lot of joy. You also got love, balance, and clarity. So for a lot of you, like, you might be coming into this place of balance, and you might be getting a lot of clarity on things by doing this healing with your inner child. You're allowing your inner child to express themselves more. Your mask might be coming off, and you're coming out of the box. So for a lot of people, like we kind of, Lena and I call it being stuck in the matrix. But unless you've gone through like an awakening, or you kind of started on your healing journey, like you tend to be kind of in like a matrix, and a lot of people tend to put themselves in like this box, right? And it's really restrictive and not great. And I feel like a lot of people also wear a mask on top of it too, so like that people can't see who they really are, right? Like you have to fit in this box, you have to be this person, you can't be yourself. Like that's very much the vibe of possibly what you've dealt with in this group. And spirit is saying, like, you know what, now it's time to step out of the box and to take off the mask and to see all of the beautiful colors, and to know that like life isn't just black and white, it's not just dark. Like there's all of this like brightness everywhere. There's like all of this beautiful stuff that we want to give you. And I think they're being vague as far as like what exactly those things are, but I feel like it's very, very bright and joyous and exciting and stuff that's going to make you very happy. And you have a hint at love, and that could be a romantic relationship because you had the lovers as well. It could be about balance, it could be about internal love, but I feel like for this group, like you have that potential there. But I also feel like you're just going to be getting gifts from people, like whether that be monetary gifts or emotional gifts, support in some way. Like I feel very strongly that this group will be getting the support and the love and the care that they really deserve and need and have wanted for a very long time. And it's allowing them to like take off their mask and to be who they are, and to be more confident and comfortable with who you are as the viewer that's watching this. Like it's allowing you to really allow that color into your life, and to feel more joy and more of those like more higher vibration feelings, instead of feeling so like in the dark or in the dust, like down down in the dumps basically. And I think spirit's saying like we're pulling you out of there, so that it's the life.
Yes. I agree with that 100%. First thing that I want to note is I'm getting a lot of Pocahontas vibes. So first I was hearing Just Around the River Bend, and then it switched into Colors of the Wind, so those could resonate with you for some reason. I think it's the two bottom cards with all that color that's reminding me of that. But for me, Just Around the River Bend also talks about like you might be going, like Becca was talking about, those highs and lows. And I feel like this life that you've been waiting to start is like just around the river bend. Like all these things that you've been wanting, I really feel like they're like that. And like she said, you've broken out of the matrix, out of the box that you've put yourself in. And I think it's very funny because people tend to talk about, like, you hear this all the time. Life isn't black and white. We live in gray. And I was like, but people forget about color. And I'm like, we don't just live in gray either. We live in color. Like life isn't just like this morally gray area. Life is also this really beautiful, colorful, area. Like we have color in front of us all the time. Like I can see my little bowl here is, a heart with painted red on the inside. My notebook is green. My selenite is like it's an opaque white. I can see, that, there's so many colors on that card. Like, how I was talking about how your specific little finger painting that I did had so many colors. And I feel like that's kind of what you do with life. I think that you show people the color. And I think for a long time, someone has been, or just life or your own expectations of yourself you've been putting yourself or something or someone, you know, like obviously there's some element of control and responsibility we have to take for our life. But just in general, I feel like there's been a lot of oppression in this group, and like you're finally breaking like free of that, and you're going to shine those colors, like letting that, you know, freak flag fly type thing. And I think that you've always been someone that knows how to bring that out in other people and to appreciate them. But then when it comes to yourself, I feel a lot of hidden, because with that mystery, Black Moon Lilith, I feel very much like you've been hidden in Shroud, and like it could have something to do with your Chiron placement. Might not feel good enough to actually express who you are, or like you don't deserve what other people deserve. It's kind of what I'm getting. And now what I'm getting from Spirit is like, no, now it's finally your turn for joy. You have so much here about, like we talked about, inner child, like the green and pink, the watermelon, and then another green crystal. Like there's a lot about the heart chakra here. So you're going to probably experience a big heart chakra opening, which is really, really gorgeous. And the other thing I wanted to mention with the Black Moon Lilith, definitely look into that placement for yourself, like Becca mentioned. But I also feel like I'm really drawn to the body on that. And I feel like for some of you, which again, we kind of mentioned this in group 2, but I'm really, might have to do with like potentially how you view yourself. And how you, maybe you don't think that like you're good enough for these things because of how you look, like you know, something like that. Like I said, I'm very drawn to her like feminine figure, her curves, and even if you're you know, like if you identify as male or non-binary, well, like it could just be because we all have that masculine and feminine energy inside. It could be being afraid of that vulnerability inside of you, that you're afraid to shine it. Again, like the deepest and most beautiful parts of yourself, you tend to kind of keep to yourself, because when you have shown before, I think people have kind of extinguished that fire for you, or kind of told you like to calm down, or like, you know, that type of thing. Or it's just that you've always been too afraid to actually shine, and that's coming through really strong. And then also with the box, kind of makes me think again of holiday season, because like a present, you can see the like little bits of color inside the little square there. So it's kind of like maybe you'll get a nice like Becca was talking about, gifts, presents. So there's some type of generosity as well coming in, and like maybe you'll get some type of gift that like helps you kickstart a new business, and the, you know what I mean, like you just never know. But that's very much what I'm picking up off of your oracles.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. So let's go ahead. Let's see if they'll give us an idea. Again, they've been kind of vague with most of the groups, but let's see if they'll give us an idea of anything that's coming in the next 4 months. And then we'll get a TXT song with lyrics, and then we'll do your Astro Dice, and then Lena will read the messages at the end. And let's see if they will give us anything from, oh, okay. Heart and throat opening.
Mm-hmm.
Health for body, mind, and spirit. And then love and meeting the one / marriage.
Oh, wow.
There's that two of, not 2 of cups, the lover's energy. Yeah.
We talked about the body too. I talked about that. Oh, look at that. Confidence. Yes.
Yep. Bottom of the deck. Okay. Exciting. Yeah. Like I said, for a few of you, I do feel like that message about love and like the lovers, like, I feel like you could possibly be meeting somebody new that really helps you with that. Well, apparently this group got 2. Okay. Okay, so you got, I think both of these came out in other groups, but we'll take them and then maybe I'll shuffle a third one. But you got 9 3/4 and then Magic. So 9 3/4, which is also known as Runaway, is the debut song for TXT. And it's Bibbidi Bobbidi, the train is departing. Bibbidi Bobbidi, our magic island. When we go past this tunnel, when we open our eyes, our dreams become reality. Please be my eternity. Please call my name. Run away with me. And then you also got Magic, which is, oh, it's just like magic. Feeling your touch. Oh, it's a rush. No one else has it. Oh, just like magic. Holding me tight, giving me life. Oh, it's magic. Which both of those with Magic, it's interesting because even though like they seem to be talking about like somebody else in these songs, which possibly it could be, you know, like I said, you got love and meeting the one. You have some other love cards that came out. But I, again, kind of explained this in group 2, that it almost feels like you're gonna be healing things within yourself that make you feel like you have the magic, like you have that confidence, like you are loving yourself and understanding that your dreams are, a reality, and like you can make anything happen, and that you are basically getting away from things that no longer serve you and coming into your power. Like that's very much the vibe, like believing in magic. But yeah, I knew one was gonna come out. I was like, one more.
It's funny, I wrote that song down because I kept hearing it the whole pile.
I know, I have it stuck in my head, which is funny because it hasn't come out yet. But Blue Hour, it says, but it's you, you're the one that I want. You, everything that I want. Blue, the blue landed next to me, everything changes. The other world at 5:53 is beautiful because of imagination. Before the orange glowing magic in that sky comes to an end, because of imagination in that instance, can you feel the rush? Super soft. Again, that one is very magical. It's all about imagination, creativity, but it's also about meeting somebody new. It's very 5th house energy, actually. So if there are any Leos here, TXT, actually, I don't know if you guys have checked out our Tumblr, but I did a TXT group analysis of their astrology chart, and they're actually a Leo group. Like they have a Leo sun. So if you are interested, in tropical astrology. But if you would like to check that out, that's on our Tumblr. I only do tropical astrology right now because I don't really vibe with any of the other kinds at the moment. I've looked into sidereal and draconic, but currently Western astrology, tropical astrology is what I'm doing. But if you wanted to, I would definitely check that out if you're interested in TXT. It tells you a lot about the group. And I think if you are a Leo, or if you have Leo placements strong in your chart, you probably will vibe with them really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's do your Astro Dice. I know this group got kind of spoiled, but it's fine. Okay, you have the Sun in Taurus in the 12th house. Interesting combination. Okay, so Sun and Taurus, Taurus is ruled by Venus, right? So that also is about love and relationships. But it's also about it could be about your finances and about your values, the things. Basically, Taurus is the 2nd house energy. So it's very much about what you value, what's important to you, financial matters, as well as love is still part of that, even though love is usually associated more with Leo and Libra and Venus, and the Sun in general. But basically, this is telling me your focus is on the self, right? Because the Sun is all about the self. It's all about your forefront, your ego. It's all about you. And then Taurus is very grounded energy, and it's very much about what you value. And then the 12th house is about dreams for one, but it's also about kind of those deeper secrets that we hide. So for instance, anything that you might be ashamed of or afraid to share, or things that you could see as addictions or as negative things like that, are part of that as well. And I think this kind of compounds on that. And I'll get into the other meaning that it has in a second. But I'm feeling the main thing is that you are going to be going through this healing of the self, where you actually value yourself more, that you're able to heal those things that are in that 12th house that maybe you've been avoiding, or that have felt too heavy or too much of a burden, or just kind of very difficult, things that you don't necessarily like, things that you've always tried to keep hidden, that kind of stuff. I feel like you're very much you're stepping into your power, and it's allowing you to heal those things and to feel a sense of freedom. But the other thing that it could mean is that you are valuing things that are Piscean in nature. So things like art and music and depth and spirituality in a certain sense, your psychic gifts, your talents. You might even be into things like astrology and tarot and esotericism and things like that right now. And it's because you're finding what really lights you up and what makes you happy, what you value, as opposed to what other people value or like you've been conditioned to value or to think. And I think that it's actually a really beautiful energy, because it is very much about developing the self in a way that allows you to be free to be who you are, flaws and all. And I feel like you're accepting a lot of those flaws, and that's allowing you to really step into that power and to say, you know what, even though I have these, I love that about myself because it makes me who I am. And I feel like that's super, super soft and very, very important.
Agreed. 100% agree. So to wrap up here with your channeled messages, I have Silver Bells, that came out first. That, I know it's a Christmas song, I'm pretty sure. Silver Bells. Yeah, that came out first. Then I have Dolphin, then Ride the Wave, Malachite. So the crystal malachite came out. Could be important for some of you. You could know someone named Malachi potentially, but malachite specifically came out, so maybe you need some. A Triton, so like that gives me, again, that Neptune energy, which is Piscean, so there you go. The Kundalini Rising Lion, which she talked about Leo, so I didn't even realize that until right now. So Lion. Purse full of money, which we just talked about values and money, so again, there you go. I saw a phoenix, so that could be something. Sacral, root, heart were chakras that came through really strongly. A door with a knocker, so like, you know, those doors that have like, that's kind of, I saw one of those. A narwhal, not an animal that I see every day in these readings, so a flame ignited, so I saw that. Sunsets, grumpy cat came through. Mermaid tail, empathetic upgrades, sorry, not empathetic, empathic upgrades. So if you're an empath, expect those gifts to grow, excuse me. Pay attention to colors, so that came out very specifically. Colors, aesthetics, things like that, pay attention to those things. A cactus, Juice by Lizzo, Walking on Sunshine, Don't Stress, Get Blessed is a phrase that came through. Blue Hour by TXT. Hummingbird, a house and heart with a key. I saw a house with a heart over it and then a key. So, and then last but not least is a microphone. So again, that gives me that, like, you got that heart throat opening as well. So speaking that truth, speaking from your heart, that's really, really vital for this group. Being your true self is essential for your well-being, is what I just heard.
Yes, I definitely agree. And I think this is really beautiful energy. It's not like that tough, drudging through the mud shadow work that sometimes you go through in life. It's very like a lighthearted, like, again, seeing all of the color kind of an energy, which is really soft.
It is very, very soft.
So hopefully that resonated for you. Leave us a like, a comment, hit subscribe, let us know what you thought. You can find us on like all social media sites. Like, we're literally on everything. So if you wanted to, you can find us on all of those. We post readings and stuff sometimes on TikTok and Instagram. And then of course, like I said, I do astrology over on our Tumblr, and then I'll link all of those. They're on our profile too here on YouTube. I almost said Yahoo. We don't have Yahoo. That's one we don't have. But we will have those linked in our profile here on YouTube. And so you can get to those easily if you would like to. You don't have to, of course. If you liked any of the other piles, like you wanted to see any of the other ones, feel free to go ahead and choose more than one, because you might have messages in more than one pile. It's very possible. Go listen to TXT. They're amazing, and we love them very, very much. And they have an album that just got repackaged and released. Well, I guess it would be last month now, because it was in August. When we're posting this, it's in September. But go listen to them. They're amazing. They're super aesthetic, and their storyline is wonderful. But yeah, that is what we had for you. Hopefully it resonated, and hopefully we will see you guys in our next video.
Yes, hopefully very, very soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.